I'm the Candy Man by Colton Dennis. Hello everyone and welcome to the town of Uinta, Utah, where anyone knows everyone. It's a quiet place here. People wake up in the morning, eat their breakfast, if they have time to. Then they go to work, while their wives stay home and take care of their children. Everything seems normal. Until one day, a mysterious man appeared in town. Mr. Sean Fleming. He seemed like a nice fellow. He loved children. He never had any himself, because no women turned their heads towards him. But he didn't mind. All he cared about was making children laugh, smile and make sure they had a good time. The parents loved watching their children enjoying themselves with Mr. Fleming. Or Sean, he said to call him by. Another thing about Sean is, he would also hand out his own candy that he made himself. He made sure it was all right with the parents before giving it to the children. The neighborhood started loving Sean for what he was doing. Then months passed, and all of a sudden, the children of a family started getting sick. They thought, since it was getting cold outside, it could have been the flu. But then another set of children got sick. Then another. Then another. The doctor examined a few of the children, and couldn't figure out why they were getting sick. So, as the children were becoming sick, and no one knew why, Sean would stop by and visit the sick children, and give them more candy, to cheer them up and hopefully make them better. Another few more months passed, and the children of the one family died. The doctor still couldn't figure out how they died. One day, Sean stopped by the family that lost their children and he gave his condolences. He told the grieving parents, if there was anything he could do, just tell him. The grieving parents said, there was nothing he could do. So, he gave his condolences one more time then left. But as we was leaving, he accidentally dropped a few pieces of candy without knowing. As the day went on, the husband stumbled upon the candy, then placed it into the candy dish. Days passed, and the grieving wife starts eating the candy. Then she started getting sick. The husband just thought it was just spring fever. With the seasons changing, a few weeks passed. The husband came home from work and found his wife dead. So, the doctor analyzed the wife's body, then discovered how she died. She was poisoned. They talked to the husband, and he told them about the candy he found on the floor one day. He thought it was strange leaving candy on the floor. The doctor asked if he had any more of that candy. So the husband gave the last few pieces to the doctor. The doctor analyzed the candy and discovered that the candy was poisoned, and wondered how. The poison showed up in the wife's body and not the children's. So, the doctor analyzed the children's bodies and discovered the same poison in the wives. So, the doctor told the authorities about Mr. Fleming and his poisoned candy. As the authorities went to find Mr. Fleming, he had already skipped town. A year later, in the town of Gardner, Maine, Sean Fleming was spotted walking around town, handing out his candy to the children. But walking down the same street is the widowed husband. The husband spots Mr. Fleming. Sean smiles at the children, notices the husband and makes a run for it. But what Mr. Fleming didn't know: the authorities have his picture, recognize him, then tackle him to the ground. Mr. Fleming was arrested and charged for the murder of the husband's family, and for making poisonous candy. Then the authorities said, now Mr. Fleming will rot in jail until he dies. Another thing about this story: the officers said they could hear Mr. Fleming singing a song while he was in his jail cell. And it went a little something like this: who gives you candy, serves it on a tray, making children smile, as he throws towards their way, the candy man, the candy man.